In this video, we are going to solve problems involving side lengths and area of similar figures. If two figures are similar, then their corresponding side lengths are proportional, and the area ratio is the square of the length ratio. So we have here two rectangles. These two rectangles are similar. There is a measure of, we assign this measure as A and this side as B. Now, to find the length ratio, that is A over B, and the area ratio is the square of these two lengths. Now let's have an example to better see how this how this works. So first we have this problem right here. So we are given two quadrilateral. So this is specifically this is a trapezoid. So these two trapezoids are similar. So if in any case when these two figures are similar, we have this formula right here. So the measure of figure A over the measure of figure B is equal to the length of one of the lengths of figure A over the length of figure B. So let's put in some values here. So what are we doing is that we are pairing them up, the ones that are corresponding. So these two are corresponding sides and these two are corresponding sides. So if we can label this as A, so that we're not confused of which one goes which. So this is our B. Okay, so we can pair them up. We start with 6 centimeters, and then that is over X is equal to, the other partner here would be 10 centimeters over 15 centimeters. So I started out with the first over the second. So this is how it works. First over the second is equal to first over the second. Okay, so we are now ready to solve for X. So in this case right here, we're supposed to cross multiply these two fraction here. So this would be cross multiplied and these two gets cross multiplied. So we have 10 centimeters. So the partners are 10 centimeters and X. And then the other one would be 6 centimeters times 15 centimeters. So then from here, we can go ahead and multiply these two together. So that would be 10 centimeters times X. If we multiply 6 and 15, that would be 90 centimeters squared. So then we want the X by itself. So we're dividing both sides by 10 centimeters. Divide this by 10 centimeters. So we can cross this out and cross this one out. Remember that this centimeter squared means there are 2 centimeters on top. So we take one of that 2 centimeters, so we're left with just 1, and then cross out the centimeters at the bottom. So we're left with X is equal to, divide these two together, 90 divided by 10 is 9, and then the final unit here is centimeters. So that means the length of this base of this quadrilateral or trapezoid is 9 centimeters. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own, and when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. So this is an example of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is an example of an irregular pentagon, since there are five sides. So it's pretty much the same thing. We partner them up. These two are corresponding, so they make one fraction. These two are corresponding, and they make one fraction. So we can go ahead and set it up. 4 meters over partner for that is 7 meters, and that is equal to 1 meter right there over the partner for 1 is X, and that is missing. So then from here we can cross multiply these two and cross multiply these two here. So we can rewrite this as 4 meters times X is equal to 7 meters, and then times 1 meter. So then we can multiply those two together. So that would be 4 meters times X is equal to, that's gonna be 7 meters squared. So then from here, we want the X by itself. So we're dividing 4 meters from both sides. Divide this by 4 meters. The same thing as this. That means we cross out one of the 2 meters here. So we're left with 1. Cross the meters at the bottom. The 4 meters and 4 meters they are crossed out. So we're left with X is equal to, now if we divide 7 divided by 4, that should be 1.75 meters. And this is the length of this part right here. Did you get the same answer as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to area. So remember, the area ratio is actually the square of their lengths. So in this case right here, we can, these two pentagon. So this is a pentagon since there are 5 sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's a pentagon. To find the missing area here, we are going to use this equation. So area of Pentagon A, so we can label this as Pentagon A, and this is Pentagon B. So the area of Pentagon A over the area of Pentagon B is equal to the square of their sides. So the side of A is 10 and then the side of B is 20. So then we can go ahead and set this up. So we start with the area of Pentagon A is 172 centimeters squared over the area of Pentagon B. So let's just take this as X because that's missing. That's what we want. That's what we're looking for. Is equal to the side lengths of A, that is 10. So that's going to be 10, but then again, it's supposed to be squared. So I'm going to square this. And then the side length of B is 20. So I'm going to write 20 centimeters. And then again, it's squared. So I'm going to square it. So let's square both of them. So we're going to rewrite it. 172 centimeters squared divided by X is 10 times 10 is 100. And that's centimeters squared over 20 times 20 is 400. And then again, that's centimeters times centimeters is centimeters squared. So then from here, we can cross multiply these two and these two right here. So we can rewrite this as 100 centimeters squared times X is equal to 172 centimeters squared times 400 centimeters squared. So then from here, we want the X by itself. So we can divide both sides by 100 centimeters squared. Divide this by 100 centimeters squared. So that we can cross this out. The centimeter squared and centimeter squared are also we can also cross them out. So then from here, we just multiply this two numbers right here to solve for X. So again, we are multiplying 172 times 400, and whatever the answer to that, we divide it to 100. So the final answer for this would be 688. The final unit now is centimeters squared. So that is the answer to this, that is supposed to be centimeters squared. So 688 centimeters squared. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so this is an example of an octagon. Octagon because there are 8 sides. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's octagon. So we are going to use again this equation right there. So first we are going to just plug in the values into the equation. So the area of A, so we can label this as our this is our pentagon A, and this is our pentagon B. So the area of Pentagon A is 282.64 meters squared over the area of Pentagon B is 407 meters squared is equal to the radius of this length right here for A is X, and then that's squared, and then the length or the radius of the other or the second octagon is 12. So I'm just gonna write 12 meters and then square it. So just square the 12 first. So that would be 282.64 meters squared over 407 meters squared is equal to X squared. Now if we square 12, so that means 12 times 12 is 144. Meter times meter is meter squared. So then from here, we are going to cross multiply these two and cross multiply these two right here. So then we can go ahead and rewrite this as 407 meters squared times X squared is equal to 282.64 meters squared times 144 meters squared. So these two are partners. So then from here, we can go ahead and divide both sides by 407 meters squared divide this by 407 meters squared. So we can cross this out. We can cross meter squared and meter squared. So then I'm going to show the work up here. So then from here we're left with x squared on the left side is equal to, now if we multiply these two, 282.64 times 144, and then whatever the answer to it, we divide it by 407, we can round the answer off to be 100. So then the unit here is meters squared. But then we want the x by itself. So then the antidote for squared is square root. So square root both sides. So square root and squared gets crossed out. So we're left with x on the left side. Square root of 100 would be 10, and square root of meter squared. So cross the square root and squared. So that would be meter as the leftover unit. Did you get 10 meters as your answer to the second problem right here? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!